back to my channel. Today I have a card share for you, and the theme of this card share is ocean themed cards. I've really been feeling my ocean themes lately. So this week I worked with basically just ocean things, and I thought that I would save them all together and do them into one card share. So we'll go ahead and get started. The first group of cards that I have to show you, I used the Simon Says Stamp Cuddly Critters stamp set. This is a fairly new stamp set from their release. I think it was June, but I'll go ahead and link it down below. It's very cute. I love this little stamp set. And then of course I got the coordinating dies, and incidentally I'm working on a large Pinterest project right now where I'm in the process of pinning all of my current stamps and dies that I own onto Pinterest. So if you're ever interested in anything that I have in my stash, you'll be able to just click there and then click the link to know where I even got something. So I'll link my Pinterest board down below, and that'll be on it as well, but I'll have this linked for you. It's very cute. It's got the merkitty and the doggy and the flamingo floaty and some really pretty sentiments. I like this little starfish with his little smiley face right here, and we have an umbrella and a beach ball. Very fun. And those are the dies. And then of course this large background stamp called Beachy Waves from Simon Says Stamp. This is a red rubber 6x6 cling stamp. It's a very nice stamp. I did struggle a little bit with, I don't want to say using this, but figuring out a way to get this to stamp the way that I had envisioned in my mind when I ordered it. I did do a process how-to video on this, and hopefully that will be uploaded before this video, so I can link it down below and kind of show you how I did the backgrounds for the cards that I'm about to show you. And incidentally, the backgrounds that I'm about to show you on those cards are the same ones that I made in the video. So that was me making it in the video at the time. So those are, again, both Simon Says Stamp products, ordered obviously directly from Simon Says Stamp. So let's go ahead and get started with the card share. I made 4 different cards. To start with, I stamped everything on watercolor paper, a Canson XL cold press watercolor paper, and I stamped it in VersaFine Black Onyx, and I clear heat embossed over it using my Recollections clear embossing powder. I don't have that in front of me, but you all know what that looks like anyway. And then I did some watercoloring with my Tombow markers, which is like my new favorite thing to do ever. I very rarely have touched my my alcohol markers since I started collecting the Tombow because they're that much fun. And then of course I die cut all of the little images using the coordinating dies. And again, the backgrounds were made using the Beachy Waves stamp. I forgot where my brain was for a minute. So here are the 2 that I did with the doggy theme. Trying to hold it up to this is a new camera position for me, so my instinct is not to put things where I'm putting them. So I made 2 with a little doggy here, and I don't like my cards to be the same thing, so they're usually all slightly different. And I used the Dog Days of Summer and Life is Rough here. Just white heat embossed on black cardstock with my just regular Wow white embossing powder. But very fun. I thought these were very cute, and they're all black on the inside. I love pretty much anything mounted on black, so I just love the way that it looks. I think it just makes the colors pop out even more. These backgrounds are really fun. I made them with Distress Oxide inks. And all of the backgrounds are different. I experimented a little bit with blending different kinds of colors, and it was a lot of fun. So, plus I really enjoyed this stamp set. This is probably not one that's going to be destashed anytime soon. And the next 2 focus on that merkitty. Same thing, same process for the backgrounds, and again, they were all kind of made the same day anyway. Mounted on black, white heat embossed, but different kind of themes in each of them. This one might be my favorite. I Need a Vacation Right Meow. Super cute. Sorry, I will try to hold these better. The camera is over my head, so it's kind of not instinctual to look to make sure that I'm holding them properly, so I'm sorry about that. And here is the Permaid Kisses and Starfish Wishes card, and I experimented a little bit with a sunset background on that, which I thought came out very nice. So those are the 4 cards that I made, again, with the Summer Cuddly Critters and the Beachy Waves from Simon Says Stamp. I do still have a couple of backgrounds left over from this, and I'm probably going to end up slipping them right into the back of this pocket here, so that next time I pull this out, it'll be like, oh, I already have some done. So I like to make extras too, because you never know when you're going to mess something up, right? I mess stuff up all the time. I'm the queen of messing up. Okay, so moving that out of the way, The next two cards I made, I worked with the new, what is it called? Mermaid fishes or mermaid fish cling stamps. These aren't clear stamps. These are these aren't clear stamps. They're cling stamps from Stampendous, and they're from the artwork of Laurel Burch. And they're absolutely gorgeous. And I picked up the coordinating dies for this as well. If you've been a longtime follower of my channel, you will know that I picked up this stamp set at a scrapbook convention that we attended back in April. There were many more from Laurel Burch, like she has a kitty one and a doggy one that I wanted to go back for, and they were already sold out by the time I went back. So I did find a good source to buy these, and I will link them down below. They're discounted even from what I think I paid full price. Like the dies were $20 and I forget how much the stamps were, but I did find when researching for this video, I did find they have them at scrapbook.com, and there's a bit of a discount. So I'll have those linked down below if you are interested. Anyway, gorgeous. And they stamp beautifully. The only thing that I thought would do these justice was to also watercolor with them. So the exact same thing, I stamped them out on that same watercolor paper, same process, clear heat embossed over it. And these were watercolored with my Tombow markers. This was actually one of the earlier projects that I did with the Tombow markers, and you can see why I completely fell in love, with that. So these are the two cards that I made. The mermaid is just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Everything about this stamp set I'm completely in love with. They even have, when you die cut the mermaid, there's even a separate die right here on the inside for the inside of her, like between her fin and the fish's fin that she's snuggling right there, to cut that out. Perfect. There's no real white line. If you line up your die properly, there's no white lines on the side, but I absolutely love this stamp set. It is breathtakingly gorgeous. I will not lie, it did take me a very long time to color these, and I actually colored a whole bunch of images at once, not just these, but I stamped out everything and colored multiples of everything at once. It did take a while, but it was a lot of fun, and this is one of the earlier projects that I did with the Tombow markers. It just absolutely gorgeous. I had a blast doing this, and I found a sentiment from my stash that says home is where the ocean is, and that probably came to me from a swap because I was not able to identify where it came from. It doesn't have any labels on it or anything. Again, I mounted this on black because I think pretty much everything the colors just pop even more when it's on black. And these backgrounds I made on watercolor paper, and this is not ink blended. I was inspired recently by a recent video from Amy R, Prairie Paper and Ink. Now, she didn't invent this technique, but I was inspired by the way that she was using it and her color combinations where she was watercoloring with the Distress Oxide inks. And I just thought her color scheme looked amazing, and I thought it would be perfect for my mermaid cards. So the next day I got out all my stuff and I did the exact same thing. So I think this is Broken China, and I think it's Salty Ocean, maybe Salty Ocean and Wilted Violet. I just thought that it looked really nice all together like that, with just big brush strokes. Watercolor painting with the Distress Oxide, letting it dry. She used a heat gun, but I was doing other things at the time when I was making the background, so I pretty much just kind of let them dry on their own. And then I went back and I put another layer on and another layer on until I liked the way that it looked. And it's just big, large brush strokes all the way around, just messy or whatever. It doesn't matter because you're just going to keep layering it up, and then sprinkling it with your Dispress sprayer, and then a little paper towel to sop it up. Perfect. I put a couple of drops of Nouveau Crystal Glaze on here just to make a couple of little water drops. That's it. Then of course I die cut my little mermaid and some of her fish friends, put them on the card, and then that's it. And here's the other one that I did. And this sentiment is, may your joys be as deep as the ocean. If anybody recognizes these sentiments and know where it came from, please let me know. I'm not in the group anymore, but I used to be in a paper crafters group, and we used to, once a month, we would do de-stash swaps, where basically you take a whole bunch of stuff that you're not using anymore and you shove it in a certain size envelope and you mail it to your partner. So I have a lot of stuff from there that not a lot of stamp stuff, but sometimes I'm just not able to identify what it is, and I tried Googling it and I can't find what it is, but I would like to identify it, so, because it's a really nice set. So if anybody happens to know what that's from, I would appreciate it. Anyway, so, and here is just a different version of the mermaid with different coloring. I do like to experiment with different skin tones and things like that, and different coloring. This one's probably my favorite because the colors are just a lot more vibrant than the way that they came out on here. But they're both just gorgeous, and I love them, and I might just keep them for me and never give them away because I'm horrible and selfish like that. No, I'm just kidding. I'm probably going to end up stamping out a bunch more to put in my little traveling case here for my coloring on the go. If you guys follow me on Instagram a lot, of course this is being filmed in July, so this is like back from May, April and May. My daughter's softball games and practices, when I was coloring at her practices, I was coloring these. I posted a lot of pictures at the time on Instagram of me coloring. Anyway, so I'm just now finally getting to pull them together. We're moving hopefully in September, so I have about 30 different projects that are still in the works. So I'm forcing myself before I start anything new to finish off these projects that I started and never finished. This was one of them. Anyway, so gorgeous stamp set, highly recommend. It stamps beautifully. It's well worth every dollar that I paid at full price for both. However, I found them at a discount, and I will link it for you down below. So the last cards that I have to show you, I actually just finished not too long ago this morning, using the small stamp set from Avery Elle called Extraordinary with the 2 different narwhals. And of course I have the coordinating dies, excuse me, to go along with that. This is another old project that had been sitting here half finished for a long time. I did my coloring quite a while back of the narwhals, and it had just been kind of sitting here, and I was like, okay, I've got the backgrounds. When I made these backgrounds, I made 2 more. So this is using the same backgrounds from this batch, and I had the backgrounds already, and I figured that I would just throw it all together into a look. So we have, in these cards, you can obviously see the little narwhals. Now these narwhals were colored a while back before I even got my Tombow markers. So these are colored with my Spectrum Noir, and I just went in with a little white gel pen to put a couple of little fun things on there that I did this morning. So we have the narwhals, and I used 2 of the sentiments from this set, which is really nice. I like building a sentiment. The only thing that really irritated me was this Wishing You A doesn't have an optional N on it, so I couldn't put like Wishing You an Extraordinary Birthday. It just irritates me a little bit that there's no optional N, and my penmanship is like, there's no way that I could emulate that to put the N in myself. Anyway, so we have Wishing You a Magical Birthday. I was not able to do Extraordinary, and You Are Extraordinary on this one. Now this one I'm being careful with because I just decided, like the genius that I am, that I was going to put some Nuvo drops on it like 10 minutes ago. So the Nuvo drops are still wet. I'm still trying to be careful with these cards. Anyway, so you will notice that I had a lot of leftover pieces from when I colored these Laurel Burch cards. In particular, these pieces and some of the accent fishes. They were already all colored, so I figured, heck, I'm going to put them on these cards to bring a little fun into it. So I absolutely did that. I still had these die cuts, a couple of fish, these different wave patterns here. I had one of each, slap those on here. Yeah, and then a couple of fishes and the seahorses and all this good stuff I had left over from coloring this that I decided would spice up these cards perfectly. This card was inspired by a card that I had seen on Pinterest. And I just kind of brought my own little flair to it, if you will. The white background parts are from a exchange. Somebody sent those to me. I have them in black as well, and when I was layering them out, I didn't like the way that the black looked in front of the ocean. I was going to have it all black, but then with a white heat embossed sentiment, and I didn't like the way that the black looked on top of the ocean. I decided that the white made it look better and a little bit more cheery, so that's why we went with white instead of black, even though I like black. But I decided, I did bring my black in, and I decided to mount it on some black a little bit, and I just trimmed the edges a bit so that the matting would show on a nice A2 card. So again, I'm trying to be very careful with these and move them very delicately to the side. But anyway, that's what I have for the ocean themed cards that I have been working with this week. I appreciate your attention. I have a bonus project to show you from the June Alpha Stamps kit. the folding mini conservatory. I've been working with that. It's not done yet. I can't quite figure out what else we need to put on here. I'm looking at it. It's right on my desk so that I can keep looking at it and trying to figure out what else. It might need buttons or something. I don't know. I don't know. It's not done. It doesn't look done to me. I'm still working on it, but I do normally keep it right here on my desk so that I can look at it and decide what else I might need to put on here throughout the day. But I'm having a blast with the Alpha Stamps kits. They are quite a lot of fun and quite unusual. Anyway, so that's my bonus. Nothing to do with beach. Nothing to do with ocean cards. That's my bonus right there. And these are the cards that I made, trying to be delicate of the wet ones. And again, Simon Says Stamp, Stampendous, and Avery Elle. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed and they have inspired you. Take care, and I will talk to you later. Bye!